We're going to talk XRP and XLM because there's three big things going on that we need to talk about. Recessions, tariffs, and rates. Are you happy with the price action that we're at?
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
I'm so f***ing high right now.
That's right, we're going to keep the green background going because we want the rally to continue. But before we get into the crypto news, your comments come first. Hot, spicy, naughty, relevant. Maybe I'll share it beginning of the next video. Philly Made Lion says, read my comment. Thanks, girlfriend. Well, I just read it. Next time, be a bit more creative. Mr. Rodriguez says, morning, Klaus. Thanks. The updates, always enjoying my morning cup of Joe, getting my updates. Side note, praying for your foot, buddy. You got this. Dude, it sucks. I got to shut down for like 2 weeks. It freaking sucks. Forgotten Legend says, bro, I've got a $1,000 bet with my friend that XRP reaches $5 by the end of the year. Fingers crossed. Ooh, you got to keep us updated on that. By the way, love the D-Gen back and forth action. Tyler Yetzer says, pass the stablecoin reg and the crowd goes wild. No, mild. Yeah, I know. The stablecoin reg stuff, look, we got to chew through the poop sandwich and the nothing burger that's stablecoin regs before we get into the regs with the crypto market. But today we're talking about the three-peat. Not the repeat of the three-peat that Michael Jordan did that I got to watch as a kid growing up. No, we're talking about recessions, China tariffs, and rate cuts. But first, Bitcoin sitting at 84,575, ETH is 1,600, XRP at 216, while BNB's at 586, SOL at 130s, while ADA is at 65 cents. TRX, not going to touch it, so not going to talk about it. SOL, 130. XLM, we're going to talk about price-wise. Why? Because are you happy with XLM near 25 cents and XRP at 216? Think about it. Don't give me the answer yet. These three things first, and then. The probability of a recession is 90%, warns an economics professor. Steve Hanke, not Professor Hanke, professor of applied economics at Johns Hopkins, has stated the probability of the United States entering a recession in 2025 far exceeds consensus estimates, placing it at 90%. He says, I think it's over 90% this year. We have a recession coming, and with the recession, sales go down. And if sales go down, profits go down, earnings go down. But do our chicks go down? Oh, he didn't mention that, did he? So not only is it economics going down, but maybe our actions of getting action go down. The warning in the beginning isn't there for fluff. It's there for a real warning. No, I get it. Whether it's 90%, 60%, whatever, you are starting to hear more economists out there and more global leaders talk about the fear of a recession. It's not a good thing for crypto because, remember, crypto is based on risk and growth. And risk happens when what? When you have lots of money, right? When you have lots of money, you could do dumb things like go to the club. When you don't have a lot of money, you don't go to the club and get champagne service, right? You don't get bottle service. Right? Where you kind of hang out more at home. So recession, not so good for crypto. So that's like the first thing, okay? But remember, we're keeping the rally green on behind me, okay? Until things change. China urges U.S. to completely cancel tariffs. Do you really think Trump is going to back down? This week, Trump announced a 90-day pause for a host of global tariffs he had planned, but increased such taxes on Chinese imports to 145%. Whose dong is bigger than whose? China goes, we urge the U.S. to take a big step to correct its mistakes, completely cancel the wrong practice of reciprocal tariffs, and return to the right path of mutual respect. That's from China's Commerce Ministry. The Trump administration on Friday offered a concession by announcing some technological products, including many produced in China, would be exempt. But then we find out that there's probably going to be a separate tariff on those products. Woo! Okay, so we got the tariff action going on. And that's my point. Do you really think China or Trump are going to back down? Or do you think they're basically going to keep just like playing chicken with each other? Right? Seeing who's going to flinch first. But then is it going to be one of these big things where they actually have to come to the negotiating table? Because before you know it, we're both looking at 150% tariffos. That's not good for crypto either. Why? Because this economic uncertainty, until it gets solved, money gets parked on the sidelines. Stablecoins right now is where money is getting parked. We're seeing that. Okay, let's keep watching. Okay, rates 80 3% chance. This is the highest we've seen odds right now for a pause in rates. This is the biggest we've seen. A month ago is a 65% chance. So you even have a higher chance. And now, mind you, people are going to be like, but bro, inflation is going down. And I'm like, I know. Trust me, I know. But the problem is you've got the trade war and you've got the recession. You're like, but bro, with the recession, wouldn't they want to lower rates to spur growth? Yes, they would. But the problem is they're not going to play with rates until they know if we're buying stuff overseas or if we're building here. We need to know the direction first before the rate markets know what they're going to do. And that's exactly what Jerome Powell is going to say in 24 days. You're going to get another CPI data report before this, I believe. And the whole thing is direction. All right? Now, here's the weird thing. Okay, watch this. Watch this. This is for the May 7th contract. And I think you get a CPI data. I think you will. I don't know. Here, let's do this. Let's find out. Let's do this. Let's go CPI data. Let's do it live. Well, you know what I mean. While I'm recording. When's the next one? The next one is May 13th. It happens after. Okay, so you're gonna get the 7th, and then you're gonna get CPI data after that. Oh, okay, that's not good. So the CPI data happens after the decision. Watch what happens on the 18th, though. That's when they say we're gonna get the first cut-a-roni. 64% chance. Okay, now. Let's look at the price of XLM. I'm glad I looked that up because that does kind of suck. XLM touched some 25 cents, couldn't hold it. We're at 24.6 now. But are you happy where you're at with XLM? I mean, it's been a little bit softer, right, since the initial oomph. It's been lower highs and lower lows. We've seen the kind of declining pattern right here. But are you happy? Because, yeah, you're above the single-digit price action of 9 cents, 8 cents, fighting the 10 cents. You're more than double the action here, but you're not at that 40-cent mark anymore. 40 cents is kind of far away. 50 cents is kind of far away. But you see what's going on, right? You see what with the recession fears, with China, with rates. People are kind of freaking out a little bit. What about you, XRP fans? I mean, your one-year chart does look a bit different. A bit different? Yeah, it's quite a bit different. I mean, look at the 1 year for XLM. You see the decline. The 1 year for XRP. You could definitely see that stronger support at the $2 mark for XRP. Definitely, right? So look at this. XRP kind of floating around the 50, 55 cents. So it's like you're like at a 4x hold right there for XRP. Where XLM, you're kind of at like a 2.5x. So you see a little bit more X with XRP. That was actually pretty good, Klaus. But how do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel about these moves with these three big things that we got going on? And again, we can't figure out rates until we figure out what's happening first with the tariffs. And with the recession thing, well, the recession thing definitely plays into the stuff with tariffs. And it definitely plays into what's going to go on with rates. So they're all kind of intertwined, but we got to start solving them. But honestly, the XRP players out there are feeling better because they've held their gains better. The volume is holding up stronger as well. Now, obviously, XLM players are happy because, hey, if you bought before, November, you're still up 2.5. That's still good. That's still juicy action. But man, if you bought at this time period right here, the November to January time, you're looking at this going, ooh, girlfriend. So yeah, the stories are different, but the three-headed monster is hanging out with us, and I want to know how you feel. And when I have these glasses on versus these, stuff is getting serious, and I gotta see the fine deets. No, I'm just curious how this is all going to play out because I think it really comes down to first who's going to fold with the tariffs. And then once the tariff card folds, you're going to see kind of like the recession and the rates thing kind of get figured out. And then if inflation stays cool, well, awesome. Then we got that working for us. So it's really just seeing who's going to kind of crumble and cave in first, and that's what's going to set the stage for the rest of this. In terms of crypto growth and in terms of crypto price action, everyone's kind of doing their own thing. We're seeing certain players pop off. We're seeing certain players hold their gains fairly well. Overall, BTC's been a little bit boring. ETH has been just a poop storm, right? Like a total laggard. And you've seen between XRP and XLM, XRP's held its gains better than XLM. Sol, you've seen the same thing. Their 1 year chart looks way different than the other two. So we honestly are starting to get some separation in the market. And we're also waiting for BTC to make its play. I did a report earlier today talking about, hey, we're kind of in that time frame, that cyclical BTC movement time frame now, where we might start seeing some BTC inflows. And speaking of, we've still been seeing some outflows with BTC, nothing like with what we saw a month ago. So that's at least very good to see right there. But markets want to see what's going to happen with the regs. Stablecoin regs happening maybe the end of this month into the beginning of May, but for sure going to get done with May for stablecoin regs. And then they're talking August for the rest of the crypto market. So that's going to be kind of a delay. So you got that to deal with as well. But let me know your thoughts. I really want to know what you think. How do you feel about the prices? How do you feel about these news events that are looming over our heads right now? I'm going to have plenty of time to read comments, as I'm going to be shutting down here for like 2+ weeks. Yeah, this is not going to be fun. Probably going to be doing some live streams, probably going to be having quite a bit of extra time on my hands, as I will not be able to train. Yeah, I got to go into like full shutdown, as I have an injury that is just not healing. And yeah, it all has to do with like a little kid, and I was playing basketball with some little kids. I was being really nice, and it was before my race, and the kid stepped on my foot and he hurt my toe, and I raced anyways, and that was part of what bothered me going into my race. And yeah, long story short, it's not healing good, and it's really messing up like the rest of my foot. And yeah, so I got lots of free time. So send me the comments so I can read them, reply. And of course, what? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you from over there. Oh, choo-choo bitches. Yeah, I heard you.